I mean, Saban ordered a cheaper one.
Yes, okay. So you get your drinks. It costs. Sorry, what did you order? 2 beers, 1 ale, or 1 ale, 2 beers? I don't
I
recall.
ordered 2 beers or ales, whichever is cheaper.
Okay.
I ordered 1 warm ale.
Oh, 1 warm ale. She just sort of like shrugs, puts it in a fire, holds it near the fireplace, and then gives it to you.
Big brain.
Big brain.
Okay, what do I owe her?
You owe her 3 copper, and Saban owes her 5 copper. 6 copper, actually, because I realize now that that doesn't make sense. You can't pay 2.5 copper, so there you go.
I mean, a bundle deal.
I don't think they'd do that here.
Look at me serving people. I mean, honestly, sometimes I wonder what we even hired that bartender for. I'm good at
1
this.
beer.
She's not. She gives you a beer as well, 3 copper.
Yeah. Spawn would move to the fireplace.
Hey guys, should we?
Dan, out of character, I don't have any copper points. Just go.
That
is that a problem?
Don't worry.
1 gold.
Just give her 1 gold. She doesn't mind.
I'm sure she doesn't, but I do.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure we'll get the change. 1 gold is 10 silver. 10 silver is 10 copper.
Yeah.
And like your character like in game probably doesn't have it all in gold. It's just you start out with 10 gold.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Gold
then
in
give her
various
from like your background stuff usually.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give yourselves 9 silver and 7 copper, and take 1 gold away.
Yeah. In a bit, should we maybe ask the nice lady where we can find a place to stay and where we can find the burgomaster?
In a while, sure, but for now, let me enjoy at least one of these mugs.
Oh, you can stay here, by the way. I mean, that's absolutely no problem. She's not even trying to hide the fact that she was eavesdropping on you guys.
I noticed.
Asking for a room.
Oh yeah, we have a room here.
Oh, that's nice.
1 room. And there's 2 beds inside, so I'm not quite sure how you want to figure this thing out, but we have a room.
How expensive is the room?
And I can go sleep in the forest.
In that rain?
Price.
And that rain?
If it's a nice weather, I can go outside.
Right, yeah, because I don't think you should go outside while it's like this. In that case, I think that guy over there has the right idea, and she points at the one guy leaning over the table. I should charge that guy.
How much is the room?
Yeah, how much would
it 3-4 times. Saban is saying this while
this is all in character, by the way. Like she is easily sidetracked.
Yeah, okay, well, geez, but we're trying to get this room from you.
Yes. The room.
Pipe asking like, how much is it?
yes, the room. Give me some time. Jesus Christ, it's early in the morning. It's 5 gold.
Excuse me, that is exceptionally expensive.
Well,
like for how months? How long is that?
Well, it is for 1 night. I mean,
yeah, I'll take my chances of cold.
You want 5 weeks of work? 5 weeks of work for a singular night.
Well, I mean, it's per person, so it's 1 gold per person. 1 gold per person.
Room, so you're renting per person, not per room.
I mean, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Or I can get drunk and sleep on the table. Yeah. I know which one I'm going for.
She seems to really consider, like, maybe she has to charge you for sleeping on the table, because clearly...
So, miss, could you maybe tell us where some of the important places in town are?
Well, I mean, the only important place really is here. So, by the way, who are you anyway? I've never seen you in town. Are you new? Are you from Vallaki? No, you don't look like a folk from Vallaki. Maybe, you could be.
Just kind of being all around. I think with Saban, that's very easily
We're
understand.
we're new to this specific area.
Ah, okay. Oh, well, in that case, there's enough abandoned houses out there. You can probably find one for yourselves. Shit, I should have said that.
Nomads, if you will.
See, I just had a realization that perhaps the initial price I asked you for, I just, it's early in the morning, and so really, you know how these things are. You don't have your morning tea yet, and anyway, what I was trying to say is that yes, it's 1 gold for the room.
Well, I'm sure we can see if we want it.
Yeah.
We'll consider it.
early.
Let you know.
Surely you don't want the poor girl to live in a cold, abandoned house or sleep there. I mean, think of her well-being.
Well, room, but it is still quite early, so it is. We don't really have any reason to pay for it right now, right? It is quite early, as you said.
You are quite tired. You basically, I mean.
Could you
I will pay
perhaps...
a maximum of 1 silver piece per day for the room, not per person, for the room. That's a deal.
So
That's
apparently
the maximum.
Rika's a bargain hunter.
6 silver.
1 silver.
Well, in that case, have luck finding a good place to stay at tonight.
All right, sure. Rika takes a beer, drinks it, walks out.
There she goes.
Well, suit yourselves, honey.
Yeah. We need to get in contact with the Burgmaster.
Sorry?
The Burgomaster.
Oh, the mayor. Well, he probably won't be up right now, but, I mean, he could always talk with his second in command, since he figures to the drunkard on the table.
Could we get their
What
name?
do you think will be up before?
She looks at him. Good point.
I hope it isn't prying, but what's his name actually? If he is the Burgmaster second in command.
Oh, well, it's Burgomaster Coliana.
Well, no, the guy on the table.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Well, what's his name again? It was, oh yes. It was, I think it was Johan or something. Johan Coliano or something like that. Something stupid.
Okay. I guess we should talk to him later as well. But later, when the Burgomaster does get up, where could we find them?
Who? The Burgomaster. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
right. You find him in his manor. It's basically, you go outside, you turn left, and then you keep on going, and then in front of you there'll be a big house. That's where the Burgomaster lives.
Okay, thank you.
Someone's just gonna get up of his chair and go to the door and look outside. Is Rika standing outside, or has she left?
She stands there defiantly waiting for everyone to follow.
She turns around and comes back in. 3 silver pieces.
Septimus just sighs and goes back to sitting on his chair, like...
5, and that's my last offer.
Come on, I'm meeting you in the middle with 3 here. I can go to 4.
I went down from 5 gold to 5 silver. I don't go down any more from here on out.
Went from an enormous price, which is basically living in a manor for a day,
I mean,
down to 6 silver.
Well, they did just drop it down to 5 again.
you know how it is. Demand and supply. There's only 1 room here, and
Question.
And how many people want that room?
Well,
When was the last time you rented out that room?
it must have been 2 weeks ago or so.
Where are the people who rented it?
Probably dead in a ditch or something. I don't know. I don't care.
Excuse me? Does that happen often?
I mean, there's always those wannabes who want to fight the power and want to charge the castle.
The castle, the big one?
Yes,
And he-
yes, that one.
That does sound kind of stupid.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Does that happen often?
Well, often. It happens often enough. There's always, small groups who think like, oh yes, they will be able, they alone will be able to somehow turn away tyranny and create a new age of, and so on and so on. Every once in a while, we actually have a rather large mob trying it. Like every year or 2 years or so, we have quite a big mob of people who actually try to change something, like almost an army trying to storm the castle. But you can imagine how that goes. Either that, or they get killed by, I don't know, werewolves or something along the road, or just regular
I have a
wolves,
question.
or zombies, or skeletons, or I don't know,
Why-
whatever's out there.
Why is it so hard to take that castle?
Maybe this is fall off mountains. I don't know what they do, to be honest, but they must be quite stupid.
So, what is up with
They could
with the
also
giant-
drown in rivers, really. I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry, what were you saying?
So what is up with the castle?
What's supposed to be up with the castle? It's a castle.
But like, I can assume who lives there, but like, what is there like anything specific about the castle? Or is it just like a spooky castle?
What do you mean you assume who live? So you're not from around here. That's
No.
okay, I see now.
I as I said, we're new to this area.
Yeah, I didn't
Very.
realize that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's
we can make assumptions, but no.
yeah, no, that's where the Lord lives. Lord Strahd. Von Zarovic.
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard of him.
Okay.
I would hope so. I mean, honestly. You didn't even seem to know that he lives in a castle there.
Well, it's more like we assumed that he lived in the castle, but like, you know how it can be with assumptions.
Actually, just between you and me, it's not true. He doesn't live in the castle. He actually lives in that rundown shack by the riverside. She laughs.
Sure, next you're gonna tell me you live in the castle.
Well,
I mean, clearly this is just a hobby.
funny you should actually say that. I've been there actually on multiple occasions. It's it's quite interestingly built.
What have you done there?
Oh, I've worked there.
And what was your profession?
Oh, this and that. It's what you do. Like these big castles, they don't clean themselves.
Be interesting if they did.
I don't believe you've given us your name.
Oh, my name is I should really become more prepared for these moments. I swear, next time it won't happen. I swear. Oh, the guys are gonna go into town. I should really consider what kind of people they meet there, how it will all work out, and names, Daniel, names. Probably the first thing you should have thought about.
Like if you're going to introduce people in our face, have names for them.
I am so sorry. I am
This
so.
is the benefit of having 200 NPCs with names and backstories.
Yes. Sorry. My name is Gina.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And do you run this place by yourself?
Oh no. I run it with my sisters.
Oh, so it's a family business then?
Oh yes, you could say that.
see. I see.
Uh,
Do outsiders like us often show up at your doorstep?
what, you mean at the tavern?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the only one in Barovia. Well, the village.
Are there no more villages than this one?
It,
Oh, you mean it's the only... Oh,
yes, the only
tavern.
tavern in the village. Not the only
I'm
village.
sorry. Yeah, I thought that would be a little odd.
So anyway, tell me about
Sorry.
yourselves. Where do you come from?
Oh,
We're from Sandron.
Sandra. Haven't heard that one before. Sandra.
You've never met anyone from there?
I know. Meet a lot of people, come from everywhere. Lots of places, can't remember every single one.
I see.
Yeah, I know that feel.
Is the weather always so gloomy?
I mean, are you asking if it always rains or?
Well, not particularly, but just like the atmosphere isn't the brightest.
I mean, the weather is as it always has been. Oh, wait, no, hang on. No, I know. Okay, sorry. This might be something you actually don't know about, which is that there's no sunshine around these parts. Always cloudy. Always a nice cloudy day.
I see.
Rose seems to go.
Any warm days you get?
Sorry?
Any warm days you get?
Warm. Oh yes, absolutely, in the summer. But it doesn't make it any less cloudy. Actually, those days are actually somewhat really nice because it's like, it's warm, but you're always in shadow. Well, not always, but very often.
How is that for the?
Has its sides.
Sorry?
How is that for the plant life around here?
Oh, plant life. Haven't you seen? Like, most plant life either adapts or dies. One of the two. Now that you're thinking about it, yeah, the plants didn't look the healthiest.
Quite sad.
So what do you primarily eat?
Well, whatever. Bread, meat, like, whatever you eat.
So there isn't really a particular cuisine?
Well, it's more like, simple things, cheap things for most people here. Well, for most people, anyway.
Is the bread, is the meat like hunted, or do you keep livestock? Well, does someone keep livestock?
Well, I don't really know. I think it's mostly hunted. I think there's some livestock in there, but I think most of it is kept in the Lucky or one of the other places. I haven't seen a single farmer around here.
I see. With the wolves we heard and the general sounds of hostile wildlife, I can understand that.
I mean, the only meat that really has been grown here, if anything, is probably rat meat.
Oh. Okay.
It can be made quite crispy.
That is certainly a tame reaction.
Saban, you really confuse me sometimes.
Well, sometimes you may not find a deer. Rats are mostly everywhere.
Yeah.
So, apart from wolves, has the town had any trouble with, like, wildlife?
Oh,
With
well,
people?
yeah, here and there's some wolves that sometimes get a little bit over-eager and trying to overstep bounds, but honestly, for the most part, it's fine. Especially for us here, we're more or less in the center, so it's mostly the outskirts, really.
I see.
And they are abandoned mostly anyway.
But what you have said, that the roads are quite dangerous, right?
The roads? What roads?
Well, the road.
Oh, well, dangerous.
The one going...
I suppose it's moderately dangerous, yeah. with wildlife and everything, but you know, most people do get by, I suppose. Well, then I suppose they're moderately guarded. Though I did hear that rumor that apparently some bandits has also started attacking the road between Vallaki and our village here in Barovia, which is, well, quite odd. I don't know why anyone would do that.
It does.
Might
seem
just
quite
be
far
rumors,
away.
really. It is a little bit worrying, really, because you know we are far away, and to be honest, if they stop coming here, we would lose access to all sorts of good stuff.
So,
I hope somebody deals with that.
So,
But hey, I keep talking about myself. Why don't you tell me a few more things about yourselves? What is it? Why are you here? What brings you here?
well, after going on an expedition to find out something that was going on in the outskirts of where we were guarding, we ended up here.
Well, that seems
It's
vague. Hey, you there, you two quiet ones. What about you guys? She points to Septimus and Rika. Saban, oddly enough, does not go for the quiet type, apparently. As he has at least spoken with her before.
I think it's more he's assumed to be the quiet type. Like it's kind of expected from like what he looks like.
Yeah, with the shadow and everything. Well, she wasn't fooled. He actually talked. She seems to have correctly identified the two more quieter ones.
Can I help you?
Yes, tell me something about yourself. What brings you here?
I guess you could say I came here not on my own resolve, but well, at least I wasn't spirited away alone. I came here with my comrades and colleagues.
Comrades.
You have a story to tell about that, Miss Gina?
Oh, no, not really. Not an interesting or original story. As I said, there's a bunch of people around here that think that they can make changes and, you know, get themselves killed.
So what are the bad things they want to change?
Oh, I don't really. Well, I think it's mostly just about, you know, about the tyranny, you know, Strafon Zarovek, you know, down with the ruling party, fight the power, you know, all that stuff. Especially people who like, you know, enter this place and like are like, oh, we don't understand how things work here, and we just, you know, we just attack, and this is bad. No, it's very often people that don't even understand the situation or aren't even from here. It's kind of ironic in a way. They're like, oh, we're gonna fight this bad influence on these lands, and they haven't even lived in these lands before.
And what is your opinion of the power?
Hey, he's a decent folk. I mean, yeah, I mean everything's running.
Like, but
And by everything, you mean infrastructure-wise?
Well, I mean, you could make the arguments that here and there things are a bit lacking, but honestly, I mean, me and my sisters, we have a pretty good life right now. Can't complain.
So, what does this drought guy do, other than being like lord of this place?
I don't know. What most rulers do, they just sit in a castle and act important. I shouldn't say that, I'm sorry. I'm sure he does a lot of important stuff. Like, you know, keep track of people who want to get rid of him, or I don't know, taxes.
Yeah, I was about to ask, does he like collect taxes?
I mean, obviously not really. No. Well, he doesn't do himself, like people do it instead. For example, our burgomaster collects our taxes for him, for example.
Oh, I see. Does he like do useful stuff with those taxes, or does he just like do whatever he feels like?
Well, I mean, you know, he's the ruler of this place, so it's like he tolerates our existence. Does that make sense? I mean, obviously he's still and he prevents. She doesn't really know what to say after that.
He prevents stuff?
I don't know. I was going to say he prevents bad stuff from happening, but that's not entirely true, is it? He just... I'm sure he keeps things running somehow in his mysterious ways. You know, not every... It's like deities, you know? Their effects aren't always apparent in a way, you know? They have the subtle hands and everything and make sure everything goes the way it does. I'm sure whatever he does is important and helps.
Ties are kind of weird.
Yeah.
We did see a church in town earlier. What's up with that?
Well, it's a church. Have you never seen a church before?
Well, no. But to who is the church?
To the gods? She seems a little bit confused by your attitude.
Well, I'm generally used to churches being to a specific god, but I guess that might not be like that here.
Oh, to a specific god. How odd.
Usually.
Well, I mean, actually, now I think about it, it is to a specific god, but we don't really have that many gods. So really, you could also go in there and, you know, pray to another god. But yeah, some churches do specialize in one over the other.
Mm-hmm. What's the... now I'm wondering, is the Pantheon the same as it is back home?
Pantheon what?
It's what... It's like a really cool word. It's like for like when you have like a bunch of things and stuff. Don't worry about it.
Right, okay.
She clearly... Okay. The rest of you probably know that she has no idea what it actually means.
Gina,
Yeah.
are there any libraries in the village of Barovia?
Libraries? Yeah. Probably not. I think the biggest stack of books you'll probably find is, I don't know, in the Burgomaster's mansion, maybe?
Fucking read? What?
Well, I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, he's like the Burgomaster, so probably.
What can you tell me about this man?
Well, he's decent, I suppose. Hasn't kicked us out yet. That's a plus. Yeah, he seems to keep a good balance beyond everything. I mean, to be honest, he seems to be the one thing that keeps this whole shit show of a village from falling apart. Because I'll be honest with you, things haven't been too great around here. We barely managed to keep ourselves alive here, and we're basically completely dependent on some of the stuff that gets here sent from Vallaki. I don't know what he's doing to keep all of this going, but whatever it is, it's working. He must have some good connections in Vallaki. That's the only way I can explain it.
Meat.
Sorry?
If you're running low on everything so often, would you be interested in buying some meat?
Meat, eh? What kind of meat? And don't try to trick me. I've got an eye for rat meat.
No, it's from something much bigger. So
a big rat?
Work at it.
Also, don't even think about selling me human meat. We've had one jokester try that before.
Yeah, I'd rather not try anything like that, but Saban basically takes out the mule skin that has the meat inside of it from his bag, spreads it out in front of the fireplace. Should be enough for one person to eat for a couple days.
What meat is it exactly?
It's from work animal, a donkey mule.
Alright,
5 years old, so it isn't chewy yet.
She seems to be thinking about a few things. I'll give you... She looks around. Well, I mean, you're new into town, so... Tell you what, I'll give you 10 gold. For both of them.
Alright, that sounds good. Do you want to buy the hide? Still needs to be tanned, but...
I have no use for the hide.
Alright. Well, enjoy the meat.
Alright, you get 10 gold.
Yep.
And she seems to bring it into the back room of the tavern. Which also means that for a short while, you have actually time to talk to ourselves without her hearing. Probably.
So...
Saban goes over the coins, counting them out, putting them in his.
So we probably want to go see the Burgomaster today, right?
Yeah,
I recommend we do that, yes.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
is seemingly early morning, so I wouldn't say we're in a rush exactly.
We can
on the
probably
visual is kind of important.
maybe we can take like an hour, maybe an hour or two to rest a bit, get some respite.
The woman's a little
That
bit
does
weird.
sound good.
Yes, she is.
What
right?
makes you
Yes,
say
she
that?
is.
I don't know, it's just...
She's odd.
Well, I guess it's not that odd. Yeah, reminds me of some of the people my parents hung out with.
Mer.
What makes you feel that way?
She talks a lot.
Maybe she's just talkative, Rose. I don't imagine she has a lot of company nowadays.
Saban does let out an audible laughter. It's a chuckle.
But
In any case, we do need to decide where we're going to be staying.
well, there's the room here that isn't too expensive that we can probably stay here for at least.
Not anymore. Thank you, Rika.
She still wants 5 silver pieces for it. If we just pay 5 silver pieces, that's...
For tonight, or today.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's early morning,
Mhm.
apparently.
I say we go talk to the Burgomaster and find out what the thing is about. And then maybe see if we can do anything for this town to maybe make some more money.
Hang on a second, that guy is supposed to be his son, right?
His second in command, yes.
Probably.
Yeah, whether it be
I think they're related, yeah.
cousin or...
You could wait for them to wake up, and then...
Calls for you is a spell to wake him up.
Or we can just go that directly.
I still have 1 mug to empty of ale, and still have some left from the pipes, so you do what you want, but
I say
leave
we...
before I go anywhere.
Yeah, I say we maybe take an hour to rest a bit. At least. Also, I just realized, food-wise, I can probably make some berries that will help us with that.
And I can also go out into the forest and hunt for some.
Maybe, but the forests here seem a lot more dangerous than back home.
You don't know the forests I've been to. And so far, I've only had wolves from it.
Saban, if you're sure.
Werewolves.
Well, either way, we always have that to fall back on.
What about Septimus? What are you up to?
At the moment, he's just getting warm by the fire and listening to the other people talking and, considering his next course of action. And I'm going to take a look at Rosavaldo.
All right. What are you looking at?
How does she look? Does she look deathly pale?
So you're trying to see if there's any physical changes in how she looks or her body.
Basically, compared to a normal living girl, how different does she look?
Okay, roll me either insight or medicine.
Okay. 9.
Well, actually, she looks quite similar. I mean, you don't see much of a difference. Maybe she's a bit paler, and maybe it would also help if you watched her from the front and not the back, but nah.
Why does she have a tail?
No, because you have a hard time looking at her facial features as well. But honestly, the only thing you can notice really is that she might look a little bit more pale, but not really to the point where it's obvious or really something that is springing out at you. You would have to specifically look to it, and even then, you're not quite sure if it's just your mind playing tricks on you because you're expecting her to look paler.
Yeah, would Sepp bring this up?
No.
Out of character, point out there is no sun here.
Lucky for her.
No kidding.
Expectations are that everyone is pale.
Okay.
Honestly, the woman that you were talking to isn't that pale.
Maybe he is from elsewhere.
She. Anyway, you two were talking still about your battle plan, so please carry on.
Out of character, if I talk too much at all, please tell me. I can get too talky sometimes.
I'm just trying to make sure that everyone is talking just a little bit because I notice at least two people try to back in the background. I just don't want to have major character decisions or party decisions to be taken by only two people. So I'm trying to also make sure to know what the others are up to.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want to be talking too much.
But anyway, carry on, because the others can jump in at any point.
I say it's probably a good idea if after we rest for maybe an hour, we go visit the Burgomaster, because I think they're going to be able to tell us a lot more about what's going on in this town. And do we want to bring up the thing with them?
I think for the time being, the only people we can really trust are those inside of our group.
I know.
So I think we should be very careful what kind of things we say to people.
I know.
That we don't know.
Great.
That's why I'm thinking, do we want to after they read it, or do we not?
Rose is sort of pulling on Saban. What if that guy over there overhears us? Should we?
Yeah, Saban has been talking with a very low voice, but yeah.
Good point.
Basically points him out to the others.
How about when Gina comes back, we buy the guy a very strong coffee, he wakes up, he drinks it, and then we escort him there. It might give us points if we show respect to a figure of authority.
That might be nice, yeah. That might be a good idea.
Gina comes back into the room. Well, okay. Meat has been stashed. That will be tasty at some point. Anything else I can do for you?
Yes. Could you perhaps brew some coffee and give a glass of water to the gentleman over there? And he points to the guy.
Sure. That will be 2 silver.
I don't think it'll be 2 silver, Gina.
I do think so. You don't know how rare coffee is around these parts.
Could I make an insight check?
Sure.
Sure.
Out of character, coffee is rare. Indeed, we are in hell.
11.
Okay.
You bad rolls.
I mean, she seems to be genuine. Considering what she said before about the food situation, it seems reasonable.
Make it tea.
All right. Tea then. That will be 1 silver.
He tosses her 1 silver.
All right. Tea will be done in a few minutes. She goes back into another room.
To be fair, when I'm usually hungover, I prefer a beer over a tea or coffee.
I could just make him not hungover.
Saban looks with
Thank you all for coming up with these ideas after I paid.
I've said several times I could just use a spell on him.
No refunds.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure
well-
he'll enjoy the gesture.
Wake up. I didn't realize you can actually get rid of hangovers.
I don't think I can do
That is one spell Saban wishes he had.
Yes.
Rika?
I'm also curious. What is that plan of yours?
I mean, lesser restoration purges poison from your system, so
Oh,
Technically, lesser restoration.
technically lesser
Okay.
restoration removes all the.
I personally wouldn't use a second level spell to remove a hangover, but
How much combat are we gonna get in the next?
you don't know.
the bandit lord comes through the door. All right, everyone, put up their walls. No, I'm kidding. I mean, with that rain, what bandit lord would step outside of his own home? I mean, nah.
One with an umbrella.
Something to keep in mind when the store opens.
If he has an umbrella, he might be a bandit lord. Oh yeah, I do still need to find a place where I can buy an umbrella. So, by the way, Saban, that guy you talked to, while we already entered, what were they about? They were in front of some sort of store, right?
Yeah. Wasn't his though. He's just an employee there.
Oh, I
Said
see.
they'd open up in maybe a couple hours, depending how the owner feels.
Well,
Are you guys all sitting by the bar, by the way?
The bar would be sitting by the fireplace.
Oh,
yeah,
I
I'm
was
pretty
just
sure we're
wondering.
all sitting by the fire.
Okay, good.
You could maybe check that out, see if they sell anything useful, like umbrellas. But yeah, after that, we can go to the Burgermeisters, we can talk to them, we can see if there's maybe any way we can make some more money. That'd be good.
And perhaps discuss our return home.
I have a
mean-
feeling that's probably not gonna be.
What?
Remember what the letter said?
The letter is one thing. Just because it said so doesn't mean I'm not gonna try.
I guess you have a good point, but yeah.
I have a life back home.
We all
I'm
do.
not gonna stay here if I can help it.
I mean,
Maybe-
you do have a fiance back home, so
Everyone's like, I have a life back home, Saban.
Just slowly drinking. Feel like, yeah.
really,
Sure.
back home?
Amongst others, yes, Rika, I have obligations back home.
I mean, we can maybe ask the lady if she knows of any way, or if she knows of people having left. No, we're gonna go do that.
What if we'd gone the other way? What if
Hey,
instead of coming to the village, we'd gone to the corner of the map, to the edge, the opposite way?
maybe we
What
can
stops us from just
ask.
leaving?
Yeah, maybe we can ask. I have a question.
Tea's ready! And she comes back in with a cup of tea.
Also, Miss, I have a question.
Yes?
We came into town from, if I recall, the east side.
Yeah, figures.
From what's like, let's say, what's like further east from town? Is there anything there?
Road?
Does the road go anywhere?
Yeah, it goes to the what do you call these things? I don't really know. It's like a really big stone door of sorts. It is these statues over there. It's like the exit out of Barovia, I think, officially.
Is it like locked?
Well,
Closed?
it depends.
Depends on what.
Thank you for asking. She seemed to really wait for you to actually ask it. Well, it depends on who you are. I'd say it like this. Some people can go through it and some people can't.
Well, who are the people that can go through it?
Me, for example. Me and my sisters.
Is that, well, do you live here originally?
Huh? Actually, no.
Like, were you...
We're not from around here.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we spent a long time of our lives here. But born? No.
Did you do anything to get that, or is it by chance?
Oh, well, that kind of depends on who you ask, really. It's a long story. But basically, honestly, for all we know, it's chance. We just so happen to have been born in a family tree that is allowed to leave whenever they want.
I see.
How come you come back then?
Ah, yeah, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Well, because we lived here for a long time of our lives, and we grown fond of these lands.
Well,
sure, some people will say it's horrible, everything is dying, the vegetation, and everything's going to shit, there's a tyrant ruling over the city, and senseless death, and zombies, and skeletons, and wolves, but, I mean, if you look besides all that, it's not a bad place. It's not a bad place at all.
Could you always leave? Like since whenever you got here, could you always leave, or is that a recent thing?
Yeah, no, we could always leave at any point, really.
Well, why didn't you leave when you first got here? Was it like nicer then?
Oh, no, it was the same shithole it always was. Well, you could argue if it's gotten shittier or less shitty, but it's always been roundabout this way. Especially with the sky, vegetation, and everything. But, you know, it's actually quite good for me because I don't really like sunny days. And, I am quite a fan of cloudy days. It's just, there's something really relaxing about it. You know, my sisters also agree with that. That's probably one of the main reasons why we stayed here. Not quite sure, like, maybe we should have done something different. Like, maybe not a tavern. Well, a tavern is pretty relaxed. I mean, look at me being a bartender and all. It's really easy. But we also have an official bartender. He's just not in yet.
I see.
Oh, and just to be certain, just so you get this, you can't leave. And if anybody tells you they can sell you a potion that makes you able to leave, just tell them, shut the hell up. What the hell are you thinking? For goodness Christ, Pedro.
I assume
it's an old scam. It's an old scam.
I assume there's a general consensus that people like us that show up like this can't leave then?
Well, I mean, technically you can, I guess.
How?
Well, that's the thing. Technically you can. Practically, maybe not so much. There's only one way that I know about in which you could leave, which is that if the Lord allows it.
By the Lord, you mean Strahd?
Yeah, Strahd von Zarovich. Lord Strahd von Zarovich.
Is it like Zarovich or is it like Zarovich?
Zarovich.
Okay.
Zarovich. Don't get me confused here.
I'm sorry.
I lived for more than 30 years here.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the pronunciations are like, if I ever meet him, I don't mess it up. You know.
Yeah.
Some people can be kind of iffy with that.
Yeah, I know.
Better be safe than sorry.
It's really weird why some people would even assume it's Zarovich. It's just so odd sounding.
Like I've only actually we mostly just got the pronunciation and how it's written, and some cultures can. Don't mind me.
But yeah, you want to leave or what?
I'm gonna quickly turn my light on because it's.
So you guys want to leave, or what's going on here?
Yes.
Probably not happening. You shouldn't get set on that, because that's how these whole scams with the potion of being able to leave all got started. You know, don't be dead set on it. It's not a bad place. It's not a bad place.
I have obligations that I have to fulfill back home.
Suit yourself.
Yeah, we kind of like have jobs and stuff.
Hmm?
Well, at least the three of us do. I'm not sure if Saban does.
According to Rika's files, he was never officially fired, so technically, he is still a guard.
Ah, God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been told.
So
That's what we used to do.
So you forgot, like, what, guards?
You can explain the best in this.
In our city, yes.
Septimus?
Yes, miss.
No, nothing. So, yeah, what was that about?
What was what?
Your guards in where?
In our city. Sandrin.
Ah, so city guards.
The place.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of how we ended up here. We were investigating something, and then it's a long story. It was weird.
That
There
sounds like a good story. I have some time. Tell me.
There were skeletons.
Skeletons, huh?
Then... Why the hell did she act so shady when I told her my name? I need a roll.
Okay. What do you want to roll? Do you want to roll to try and see?
Sigh.
Insight.
No. What is your goal? What do you want to try and figure out? I'll tell you what you need to roll.
She reacted very strangely.
So you
when
want
she
to
heard
see
my name.
why she reacted in that way?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Roll insight.
What the hell? My paranoia is off the fucking charts.
Ooh.
Okay, you better tell me the truth now. 19. 22, actually.
Well, it certainly appears that the name seems familiar to her, if nothing else. Like, she has heard it before, but she seemed to play it off rather quickly. Like, you know, it was as if she was just checking and then, you know, easily letting it go as to not arouse suspicion, or just, you know, maybe it wasn't that important to her. But it certainly seems like it's a name that she has heard before.
Is my name very popular around these parts?
Hmm?
Is my name very popular around these parts?
I don't know. You tell me. Is it?
I arrived today. I
Oh.
wouldn't know.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I believe I've heard it before. So I suppose you're not the first one of that name. Hey, maybe somebody from wherever it is that you came from came here before as well. If it's the same name. Naming conventions and all that.
Was that a long time ago? Have they been through the village before? I don't believe I've ever come across anyone who shares my name back in my town.
Well. It seems like I'm able to, you know, sell more than just ale and a room today. You seem to be interested in information, is that right?
Just curious, I suppose.
Well, I know the look of somebody who wants to find something out. What's it worth to you?
The satisfaction of a curiosity, I suppose.
Well, I suppose that is not the same price as 2 silver, is it? Oh well.
Maybe we can do a trade.
A trade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what could you have? What do you have that I want?
If you have a question for us, we could maybe
You've already answered all of my questions. There's nothing more that you could really tell me, is there?
That's what you believe.
Good
Well,
choice.
I mean, as far as I know,
I'm the
we
tavern
haven't really-
owner. Some way or another, the information will come to me in the end.
Wait, do you own this place particularly, or is
Well,
it like shared
no,
between
with
you?
my sisters, but we share information under ourselves.
I see.
We're sisters, after all.
I
Besides,
mean,
there isn't a
nothing's-
lot of people you can talk with in around this town. Not a lot of, yeah.
Where you
Rika.
Hmm?
No, go ahead. I said go ahead.
Go ahead with what?
By the way, the tea is still standing in
No,
front
I
of
was
us.
talking to. I started talking the same time as Desper, and I stopped, and I said go ahead.
I mean, Zban asked where are those sisters?
Oh, they're still asleep, those lazy.
By the way, Berlana would pick up tea and would walk over to the sleep man at the table.
Alright, you walk over to the asleep man.
And
He looks interesting enough. He's basically leaned flat over the table with his upper body. He does look fancy-ish enough if it weren't for holy ale that is on his clothes. But, you know, he also seems to have a rapier, and he has a bit of ruffled hair. Blonde. Looks like a decently young man.
she would just like gently tap him on the shoulder.
Alright. You gently tap him on the shoulder. There is no reaction.
How unconscious does he seem?
Roll me Edison.
Sure.
It doesn't take a genius to say this. He has been drinking a good amount. And honestly, right now, he seems to be just sleeping very heartily.
Hey,
Rika, do you think you can try something here?
yeah, do you want to try a thing?
Well, I can take away his hangover. It's not going to wake him up particularly. So,
It might help.
Gina is watching curiously.
Rika's going to walk over and give him a little tap on the shoulder.
Same reaction as before, unless you're casting a spell. What are you doing?
Yeah, casting Lesser Restoration.
Okay, lesser restoration. Alright. Oh, hang on.
I think we're going for poisoned, aka
Yeah.
the gate hangover.
Okay. You do that. And he still smells of alcohol and he's still asleep, but you probably did something.
Should we...
Rika,
Is Zban
Rika's-
about finished up with his drink? Like, how long has it been since we got in and Zban got his drinks?
Oh, you ask if you finished it by now.
Yeah, basically, how long has it been?
Oh, at this point, probably like 30 minutes at least. Perhaps a bit more.
Okay, so I'm nearing the end of my pipe and probably the end of the ale. But in that case, Zban is going to look over, sigh a little bit, put down the pipe, put down the mug, grab the guy by the collar, drag him outside in the rain, and just kind of hold him out there.
Okay. First, okay.
Unless he wakes up while I carry him
Oh
off.
yeah, he does. Just as we basically grab him and try to drag him off his sword, he goes, hey, where am I? He basically pulls out his rapier and goes, hey, just sort of flails it in front of himself. And you're dragging him from behind, so he doesn't really...
Yeah.
Zban, that's a little rude.
Let me go, you fiends! I am the great Jeffrey!
I just drop him down.
He falls down.
Berlana would offer a hand to get
let's actually stop right here for a small break. All right?
Oh, sure.
It's about time.
Sure.
Zaban would walk back to his chair to enjoy the rest of his pipe.